So Brent Venables had his press conference like he has every single week. We've got to talk about it and break it down because in that press conference, he basically confirmed what a lot of fans were thinking. He also confirmed some things that I had mentioned before that was most likely to go down. So we'll dive into it and break it down. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. This video is powered by our partners at BetUS. Check them out. They are hooking up the gamer 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. Brent Venables' weekly press conference happened. He also had his Monday night coaches show. And kind of funny thing is, with the coaches show and his press conference typically ends up with just about the same information. And so it's not a lot of revelations that's going to come through with any of this. It's more of a same thing, repeated, same questions, similar answers to questions or whatnot. So we'll dive into that. And I think the one bigger thing that populated on there was talking about the offensive line, the struggles with the offense and how things are going. And he talked about the line. He also talked about quarterback Jackson Arnold. And so with the offensive line, as a lot of fans had feared, and I feared and had the assumption was going to go down, Jacob Sexton, he says, is going to be out for a little while. So you saw him get injured in the game against Ole Miss, and it looked like it might have been something a little bit more serious. He kind of slapped the ground and felt, you could see the pain that he was upset. And you honestly could see it on Jackson Arnold's face when Sexton went down, that it was a little bit more serious than anticipated. And so the BV mentioned he's out. So with that, you saw that there's going to be an elevation. We're going to see true freshman Isaiah Autry-Dent. He's going to get some time now. It appears that he's moving off scouting into the 2-deep. And if things work out the way that I'm kind of assuming, he may end up playing in this main game. Last 4 games of the season, so it's perfect. Doesn't burn his red shirt. Gives an option, because I know that beginning of this year, I believe he was a little banged up. But now he's out there. He's ready to go. He made the trip to Ole Miss. Coach Venables and Bedenbaugh gave that to him as a reward for all the hard work he has. He's from Mississippi, so he got to go back to his home area, and he got to be inside the stadium. And so he's expected to start to see some run. And so for me, I anticipate that you're going to see him on the field a lot. And I made this mention before on a few other videos around the O-line. I expect the young guys to play a lot more now. I do sense we'll see some EPL. I think we'll see some BJ Brooks, maybe a mixture of some Isosa, right? You may see some Akinkumi. I'm not sure. I know he was in a boot in fall camp. So I know the boot's off. There's maybe a chance that he ends up playing too. But I do expect to see more of the young guys. Everybody asked for him. We played one of the young guys last game. Did not always go well. So we got to make sure that they're prepared. But it seems like he is. And then Brent Venables talked about Jackson Arnold. Let's talk about that. But first, word from the sponsor. BetUS is hooking you up. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. You also get 125% on your second and your third deposit. So they're making sure you're getting taken care of. Like right now, NCAA basketball is coming up. And you can see here men's SEC conference winners. Oklahoma sitting at plus 7,000. We know that Porter Warrior has been putting in some work. Hopefully Porter has put in some guys that have a good chance of making magic happen. So check it out. If you want to put in something on there, you can. So BetUS gives you the opportunity to hook you up. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. 125% on your second and third deposits by using promo code YouTube150. And they'll even give you gambler's insurance. A 10% return on your net losses twice a year. Nobody else in the industry is doing that. So check them out. BetUS, where the game begins. So on Jackson Arnold, BV said this, and I thought this was really good. The question was, what's Jackson Arnold's future? Is he coming back? Is he going to leave? What do we think? And I've told a few people this, that I honestly believe that we're going to have both him and Hawkins come back. I think there'll be a quarterback competition, and both of them will be willing to be back next season. A lot of people called me crazy, said, nope, Jackson Arnold got benched, Hawkins got benched, they're both going to be gone. There's no reason to be there. But I know that both of them not only love Oklahoma, but both of them want to be the quarterback at Oklahoma. I know that Michael Hawkins came in here with the expectation of being behind Jackson Arnold for about 2 years, and then he would ascend. Jackson Arnold was assumed that he'd be here for at least 2 years, if not 3, and he would bounce out and go to the NFL. I still think that that's in play. This year was very up and down, but I still think it is. And Venables kind of echoed that. And he said his assumption is that you're dang right he wants to be here. Shit, you're the starting quarterback at Oklahoma. This is your dream. Now that you're forced to face some headwinds, now you're just going to quit. I don't see that from him. And he said that Jackson Arnold has the right stuff. Now, he wasn't asked about Hawkins, but he was asked about Jackson. And I said the same thing. I don't think the players are quitters like the fans are. So that's not something I'm concerned about. They've just got to get it all together and make it happen. And in this scenario, I see that Jackson Arnold comes back. I see Michael Hawkins returns, and they both play hard and see who takes it. The offensive line should see more continuity as the young guys will be past their red shirt, and they're going to go be thrown out there on the field. And they'll also be in alignment when it comes to not only continuity, but also the playbook. So I'm assuming that that's what we'll probably see. Now, the question is when the next OC comes in, what does that look like? But I'm assuming we're going to hire the best possible, plus someone that makes it easy for the offensive line to run the scheme. So I'm assuming that we'll be fine in that capacity. But Jackson Arnold, the expectation is he's not going anywhere. I feel the same way about Michael Hawkins. I think both of them want to be the quarterback here, and in time they both will be the quarterback here. So I don't think they quit. I don't think they lay down and call it quits. And at the same time, Brent Venables confirmed one thing I told you all when it came to the wide receiver room, all the injuries we're dealing with there. Everyone's believing that these guys have quit. And I said this at the beginning. If any of these dudes quit, if they quiet quit it or just decided that they're done playing, that they would not be on the team. We wouldn't even be talking about them anymore. Because that's not how BV rolls. If you believe in him as the head coach and just who he is as a person, that's the one thing that I would not expect, that he would allow players to quit on his team. I mean, they could be lying to him, but I think that he knows based upon their work ethic. If they're out there working, then they're still on this team. That means that they're trying to play. So I sense that we'll probably see 1 or 2 receivers back in the next couple of weeks. Luckily, we'll have this game against Maine semi-quiet. We'll travel to Missouri. I think we'll probably see some of the bigger name players back then. Then the bye week, which will help in preparation for Alabama and then LSU. So that's my top thoughts. That's been my take. But Brent Venables kind of confirmed a lot of that. Yet lastly, the bigger other thing we saw, he talked about the defense. And he talked about Gentry Williams, who hurt his shoulder again, the same shoulder he had surgery. I think the same shoulder he had surgery on before from last season. He re-aggravated it in fall camp, played the first 2 games, and I actually remember the play where he fell on his shoulder, and you could tell that he was in just pain, and I think he may have messed that up again. So it sounds like he's out for the year and probably going to have surgery again. So if he has surgery, hopefully whatever it is, they can figure out what that problem is, heal him up, let him have enough time to truly heal. Because with him on the field, we're at our best. He's one of the best out there in the country. And when you have Gentry, I mean, he's the one that was picking off and terrorizing Quinn last year in Red River. So we want him back. He said Jacoby Johnson tightened up his hamstring. That's why you haven't seen a lot of him. He did play some last game. I think this way you can see him. Des Malone's banged up, and Makari Vickers is also banged up. So you got some secondary guys that have been a little bit more banged up than expected. But besides that, everybody else, it sounds like, aren't dealing with anything of major concern. Just you lost Gentry, you lost Kendall Dobie, 2 corners, 2 unfortunate circumstances, and just other guys are just kind of banged up, trying to get themselves back going. But yeah, that's probably why you see certain players on the field that y'all have been saying y'all don't want on there. Let me know what you think. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Love to hear from you all. How you feeling? I think we'll be fine long term. That's just me, but definitely want to hear from you all. You made it this far, like the content, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Would love for y'all to join this family of Sooner fans, talking OU football, SEC, college football in general. Having a blast doing it. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring the video. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using promo code YouTube150. With that, I will chop it up with all of you later. Peace.